swollen.
Alan, what were you just singing?
I was wondering if it made it across the chat.
You heard it too, Omar?
Yes.
You want me to do it again? I'll do it again. I don't mind.
Oh, man.
Rolling. My ass is swollen.
Pause.
Howdy,
Oh, man. Oh, man. What's going on, fellas? Omar, Allen here. I'm TD Fizz Talk. Doug couldn't be with us tonight, but he's going to be back on Thursday. He's hurt that he couldn't be here, but he's excited about what Thursday's going to bring on the scheduled show. But we got a lot to talk about tonight. Welcome. Poopar just dropped off on us, so we're going to figure that piece of it out. He'll be back real soon. All right, so it's me and Omar right now. But listen, man. Y'all make sure y'all hit the like button on your way in the building. Let your friends and family members know about the Dolphins Collective because this show is taking off and doing big things. This show is also brought to you by BetUS. Take advantage of a 150% sign-up bonus on your first deposit up to $2,000 using code YouTube150, ladies and gentlemen. All right. And you can also get the second and third deposit bonus as well, up to $2,000. All right, so take advantage of that. Sign up. Make sure you gamble responsibly. Poop, are you back?
I'm back.
All right, Omar, you good?
Yeah. Is there any such thing as gambling responsibly, though?
Yeah, it actually is because some people, they're not caring about losing; they're just having a good time. I always say it's those people where, man, my rent is due and I don't even have enough of that, but I'm out here. So that's what I mean by gamble responsibly. If you just want to have a good time, bet the Celtics to come back,
I
down
hear
1-3.
people bet to make games more interesting.
Bet to make game. Yeah, you know what? That is, that actually helped me learn more about what's going on around the NFL.
Absolutely.
You pick a parlay on Sunday and you start picking players that you wouldn't normally watch, but now you care. So it helps you actually educate yourself even more. So it's different ways to bet, but that's what we mean by bet responsibly. So good thing you brought that up, Omar. All right. But listen, ladies and gentlemen, this show is also on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, everywhere you get your podcast. So it's not just live on YouTube. It is available everywhere. Make sure that you go check them out. The link is in the description of the video. And please give us 5 stars because y'all know y'all like the show. Y'all ain't got a front.
And I do want to encourage people to not only just subscribe, but subscribe with the little bell alarm because that makes a difference, especially when you get the text alert because now we are 2 times a week. We are Tuesday at 8:30, and then we are Thursday at 7:30. So you definitely don't want to miss one of the episodes, especially during the summer when we feed you like you're starving because you are starving.
Yes. Well, hey, it's the off season. Everybody's starving, and the good thing is we get to eat tonight because Omar Kelly, Alan Poupar, they were present at rookie minicamp, and we got some breaking news because backstage, Omar told us we might have a new starting QB, but we'll let him get into all of that.
That didn't take long.
We'll let him get into all of that, man.
Don't be telling no lies on me, TD. Alan, I'm curious what your impressions of Quinn Ewers was.
He's 6'2". He's right-handed.
2 plus.
My impression was that there's nothing that stood out one way or the other in the very limited time that we had. And again, this is where we need to tell the fans the media viewing for rookie minicamp consisted of 20 minutes, which was 4 periods.
It was not 20 minutes. It was longer than 20 minutes, but.
Okay, sorry, it was 20 minutes and 32 seconds.
We got to 7-on-7s.
Correct. It was 4 periods, one of which was stretching, which was the longest period of all of them. Okay. There was nothing again during that time. Omar, you want to chime in with like really a quick first impression of him? Go for it. For me, it wasn't any. There's nothing that stood out. Most of his throws were delivered like there were touch passes. There wasn't one throw where he really had to zip it in there. The other quarterback who was at the rookie mini camp was Brett Gabbert, brother of Blaine Gabbert, former first-round pick of the Jacksonville Jaguars. He had a couple of fastballs in there. Yours was mostly touch passes, so I can't tell you that the ball jumps out of his hand.
Threw the passes to Andrew Armstrong.
He wasn't
Gabbert.
No, you're talking about the other dude. You're talking about Theo Wees was the guy who got a couple of passes, number 82, who got a couple of passes and he high pointed them. He was, if anybody jumped out to me in that rookie mini camp, that was the dude.
I could have sworn that was Andrew Armstrong, but it was a tall guy. You know, I don't learn their names.
Correct. It was number 82.
Okay.
Trust me on that.
I'll take your word for it. 82 was Sam Brown Jr., by the way. According to
81. My bad. Sorry, 81.
81. Theo Wees Jr. from Missouri, 6'2", 210. I knew it was a tall guy, but as I said, I didn't learn any names. I could have sworn I saw 19 though. But there were a couple of throws that were caught in traffic. Obviously, it's not the heaviest of actions in those periods. But in terms of the rookie class and things that I really learned and identified, a lot of them are big. I would argue to you that Zeke Biggers is the biggest defensive tackle. Just looking at them size-wise, Zeke has some huge legs, huge backside. That trunk was massive. He is the legitimate nose tackle of the group. I would argue to you, Jordan Phillips, I did not see nose tackle. I saw a defensive tackle. And then Kenneth Grant, I was a little surprised. I think he needs an offseason in an NFL program. Just
what do you mean by that?
Body looked a little bit. It looked a little bit soft. Looked a little bit, just a little bit flabby. And I know he's a nose tackle, so understand nose tackles usually hover around 340. Vince Wilfork in the day would be 350 pounds. So I expect him to be heavy, but he looked like a guy. He looked like a guy that needs an off-season program. I'm used to seeing the Zach Sealers, the Christian Wilkins, even the Raekwon Davises. I'm used to seeing a little pop out of little abs, just a little bit, just a little bit of pop out.
Raekwon was put together. I mean, especially for a guy who was 6'7", 320 or whatever. And Grant's not a nose really. He can't play nose, but he's not really a nose. And the thing for me, Jordan Phillips is the bottom half of his body that looks strong. I mean, that looks strong to me. And then Jonas Avainaya, looked thick.
I thought fit. Now he looked fit. He looked
thick. No, and fit as well. Like there's no flabbiness there. And a lot of times with offensive linemen, you see some flabbiness. None with him. It was like just naturally big.
Yes.
So I'm just trying to put this together because y'all know what y'all talk about. Y'all were there.
We don't. We just
to a degree, but from the common person that wasn't there, you're kind of scaring me actually because our first round pick. Do I have a concern or something here? Or
no, I don't think so because he showed you he played at the highest level of college athletics. That's okay. He's a grown man. The film shows he's a grown man. The only thing that I would say that does concern me is I wonder if he's got the stamina to play 30 snaps a game, 30, 40 snaps a game. And that's really what's going to be required of him because there really aren't any backups unless Jordan Phillips or Zeke Biggers steps up or maybe this Alex Huntley. It's them and Zach. It's them and Zach. So it'll be interesting to see if who taps out when this heat and humidity gets to them in training camp.
Wow. So you're basically telling us we got Zach and Kenneth, and then who's gonna make it?
No. I think
go ahead, Omar.
I think all of these guys are gonna make it, and then you still got Benito Jones as well. but you need some. I mean, Zach is a 50 snap kind of player, and I don't think any of these rookies are going to be that immediately in their first season. But maybe a platoon role.
Okay, here's the thing: Dolphins kept 5 defensive linemen, pure defensive linemen, most of the year last year. Okay, Zach Sealer is 1, Kenneth Grant is 2, Jordan Phillips is 3, Benito Jones is 4. Okay, that means then you're going to have a battle. I don't think it's a lock that Zeke Biggers, who was your 2nd, 7th round pick, sorry, he's not a lock to make the roster. And this is a guy who absolutely looks the part, but also had very limited production at Georgia Tech, hence why he lasted until late in the 7th round. The Dolphins also claimed Matthew Butler off waivers from the Raiders on Tuesday. And this is another guy who's going to battle to make the roster. I had somebody on Twitter telling me, we filled our need for another backup at the position. I'm like, it's a mid-May waiver wire claim. No disrespect whatsoever. But why don't we worry about him making the roster first? And then you mentioned the Alex Huntley, the DFA. That's assuming there's nobody else who's brought in. So I think.
And let's not forget Matt Dickerson, who I want to give.
Sorry, Matt Dickerson.
There were, I believe, 6 veteran players who showed up on their day off to watch the rookies and were out there looking at them and on the field. Some were actually even on the field in terms of Ashton Davis. Ashton Davis and Aaron Brewer was on the field as well. He went to go watch his unit, give some pointers, give some coaching. I love seeing that. Both the safeties that were signed as free agents. Patrick Paul was out there. Cater Coe, who I've seen at rookie camp the last 2 years. Cater Coe, who was I remember the last and probably the only veteran who was at rookie camp a year ago. I love seeing that, especially now. You're going to have to see a lot of those players step up into leadership roles.
Omar, was Tua present?
No, he was not.
And by the way, Ashton Davis, you mentioned him.
Big.
That put together, holy moly.
But we knew that. We knew that going back.
I didn't know that. I didn't never notice that watching him play for the Jets. Sorry.
I had an unhealthy obsession with him playing for the Jets. I was like, wasn't there a game like he picked off Tua?
Mm-hmm.
I know he had 2 picks in the season finale last year. He may have had to pick another pick. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Should mention there were also first-year players who were not rookies who were on the practice squad last year who were there. Jordan Colbert was there. Hayden Rucci was there. Isaiah Johnson, Jason Maitre.
Mm-hmm.
Baron Matos.
Some of the linebackers,
DeQuan Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
They're allowed, and I think you had asked me about the rule at minicamp. I forget, and I couldn't think of it at the time.
Cannot play more than three in 3 games. If you haven't played more than 3 games, you can participate in rookie camp. Mm-hmm. And then they also signed a guy from
Kendall Sheffield.
Look at you.
The corner.
The corner was
been in the league for 4 years.
So I'm being told that the Dolphins are having a hard time finding good corner replacements to prepare for Ramsey. Any truth to that, or anything you're hearing?
Poupard?
Well, Rasul Douglas, according to your colleague Barry Jackson, visited the Dolphins last week.
Mm-hmm.
Was visiting the Seattle Seahawks Tuesday. So maybe that ship has sailed and he's going to sign with Seattle. Who knows? Asante Samuel Jr. Now the news has come out that he underwent neck surgery, which is not good. Hoping to be ready in July, at which time he'll revisit and recircle and make phone calls to see if any team's interested. But anytime you're talking neck surgery, that's a little dicey and certainly puts a massive cloud over his head. And then that leaves who else? Stephon Gilmore, Eli Apple.
No, don't say Eli Apple. Why you gotta say Eli Apple?
Because there's not a ton of like.
Well, do y'all have a problem with Stephon Gilmore? Well, Stephon Gilmore, I feel like he had a solid season for Minnesota last year.
I looked at his film. He tailed at the end of the season and in fact got benched. So it'll be interesting. Let's recognize D Hug Gal Day.
D Hug all day. Say hello, gentlemen.
D Hug all day. Okay, D Hug all day says he loves the channel. We appreciate it, D Hug.
Is CJ Charleston, man, big time love.
Thank you, CJ.
Loving all the content you guys provide.
There you go.
Man, I gotta get my updates.
I don't know what he does. It is clearly some gadget that his son installed.
Oh, here we go. Hold on, fireworks.
Oh my gosh, man! They said all I had to do is update. I updated. I still don't get it. That's all right, man. Alan, I need you to give me the cheat code. Shout out to Mal B. Just became a member. Ladies and gentlemen, you can join the membership right now, right here at Dolphins Collective. You'll receive custom emojis, monthly member messages, name on the outro credit starting on Thursday, and also access to members only chat. There's so many perks. And if you are a member right now, go ahead and spam the emojis. Put the Omar and Allen emojis. They put their work in out there at minicamp. So spam the chat with the emojis.
I do want to bring up something about minicamp. We talked a lot about the size of the defensive lineman, the size of Jonah. I'm going to say it right. Savvy, Naya. No,
don't worry about it, Omar. Don't worry about it.
Naya.
Huh? Savanaya?
Naya.
And damn, I'm gonna get it one day. When we talk about the sizes, a lot of these defensive linemen and offensive linemen, but it's not just the D line and O line that has size. Cornerbacks, woo! The cornerbacks from BJ Adams, 6'3", 190 pounds.
Marshall,
Jason Marshall Jr. He's listed at 6 foot 201, but I had to ask Marcel, how tall are you, Marcel? Because Marcel's 6'2", and I guess he was in cleats, so maybe that he added an extra inch. But man, that guy looked big. They both have the Jalen Ramsey-esque build to them as opposed to the Kader Kohu build to them. So that's interesting. And I did a podcast with my draft guru, Emery Hunt, and he talked about a lot of these undrafted players, even the Ollie Gordons. Everybody that the Dolphins drafted has size. They fit into a size prototype mold, whereas in the past, I'm not necessarily certain we were committed to that.
Except for Quinn Ewers.
Is he small like that?
Quinn Ewers? No, he's average size.
He's taller than Tua, though.
Yes, he is.
Okay. All right.
Oh my God. Anyway. All right. Yeah, he might get taller than
TD's writing notes like, okay, what else can I use with this?
No, I'm just making sure. So I do have a question though, because y'all talk about all these guys at minicamp, and I know we don't look too much in it, but you know the state of the team right now, which usually an expectation has to stand alone for each player, what their expectation is. But given the state of the team, meaning that we may be requiring a little more than we should from our young guys, what are the draft class's expectations for our team this year?
Boop, or you want me?
No, I mean, that's fine. I mean, Sabayanaya has to start and has to be good. That's the expectation. Kenneth Grant has to play. He played like 500 snaps at Michigan last year, so I don't know that asking him to play 35, 40 snaps a game is a major ask. He has to be a major contributor. He's the 13th overall pick. That's the expectation for him. Jordan Phillips has to be a productive player in the rotation along the defensive line. That's the expectation for him. Jason Marshall Jr., not sure what the expectation is. Sorry.
Make the roster.
Well, he could compete for a starting job. I mean, this is the state of the.
No, I realize that, but there's a lot. I mean, there's a lot of bodies there. I could give anybody that job. Anybody can get that job. Those jobs, because it's not just one; it's two of them that's available and open.
No, I agree.
I'm more curious about who's playing nickel than I am who's playing on the boundary, because you got a lot of boundary types, but how many nickels do you have?
Cater.
That's your Cater Cole, right?
Cater, but what's supposed you need Cater on the boundary? Who replaces him in nickel? You hear me? You see what I'm going?
But I don't like that, Omar, because he's better served in a nickel, but he might be the better wide corner if those guys don't show up. But you got to go with what you know to have better results, right?
That's a fair point. But let me paint it to you from Cater's perspective. A nickel cornerback that proves that he's a starting caliber player might get $8 million. You go out there and you prove you're a starting boundary cornerback, you're probably talking about 12 to if you have a good season, you're probably talking about $12 million. There's a lot of motivation to Cater, especially if you're going to be the leader of that unit. Why pigeonhole yourself into a nickel or a slot role?
Because it's not your decision.
But if you outperform everybody, the job is yours, right? Didn't you say it was wide open?
If that's what's best for the team. But Omar, I know you're big on player empowerment, but sorry, the coaches make that decision, not Cater. It's not Cater going to be like, I'm going to play outside and you're going to like it. It's going to be the coaches saying.
But if I'm cornerback number one, why are you pigeonholing me into a role? I've proven that I'm good at it, but how often? Yes, he's had chances and opportunities, but if you're the number one cornerback, and I'm not saying that he is or that he isn't, why wouldn't you play on the boundary?
Because it may be better for the team to drop off at slot, may be bigger than what the drop off would be on the outside. And that's
why you get a better slot.
You think Cater Kohu can become a top 45 corner in the league on the outside?
Top 45?
Yeah, that's kind of where I gauge being the number two.
I here's the thing. He's an undrafted rookie who has, outside of one season, his first season in Vic Fangio's scheme, where he was basically put out to slaughter on crossing routes on a weekly basis, and then asked to rely on as a starter. When Jaelan Ramsey was out, he's had a pretty productive NFL season. I would argue to you he had one of the better seasons on the team last year. So. Who's to say? And we don't know about growth and development. At one time in his career, Brent Grimes was a practice squad player. So we don't know. Undrafted Brent Grimes is I don't see the same athlete. That's
what I was going to say. I mean, Grimes was a freaky athlete.
It still is a freaky athlete. He can still jump out of a pool from a dead stand, which is ridiculous to me. But Artie Burns plays nickel. You got Jason Maitre. He plays nickel. I'm curious to see how everything pans out in training camp, but you can't just have Cater go into practice in the offseason program, OTAs, and play nickel. Like that's handcuffing him into a role when it's possible that he could do more.
You don't think they're going to give a guy like Cam Smith just the nod from the get-go and say, it's yours to lose. Like it's his turn. It's like no more holding his hand. Remember, in other words,
that was probably one of the most disrespectful things I have ever heard Chris Greer say.
He's a very respectful guy. That's not his style to make that kind of comment.
Very raw.
That was basically like, you suck so far. I'm not holding your hand. You have been a disappointment. It's time to grow up. And I was like, damn. I really was like, damn.
I like when he said that, it shocked me because I'm like, they are pretty good at keeping the decorum of everything, even if a player does not play well.
We haven't heard one bad word about Channing Tindall in 3 years?
No, but here's the problem, though. The issue, and this, Omar, is the fact that they don't have an issue with Cam Smith's performance per se, is the lack of attention to detail, the lack of professionalism in doing everything he needs to do to give himself the best chance. That's what's got the Dolphins pissed off. And
come on. So you're saying it's more than just on the field?
Oh, it's way more than on the field. It's off the field. That's the issue.
But we're not seeing it on the field, though.
TD, Sam Madison during his rookie season talked about he needs to learn that he needs to be one of those guys who shows up early and stays late to meetings. The implication being very clear that this is a guy who wasn't putting in the time. And then last year, one of the DB coaches, It may have been Ryan Slowick, I believe, who said that, or Brian Duker, I'm not sure, but said that he needs to work on his body in the offseason. This is at the end of his second
NFL. So he's just
season.
showing up to work and going home.
Kind of, sort of, seems like.
And hey, I'm gonna be 10 minutes late today.
No. He ain't crazy like that. At least not in this new Mike McBuddy getting tough era. Listen, it's just stop it. It's very clear that the professionalism, which has been brought up multiple times to us in the media, is the primary issue with Cam Smith. I would argue it's the ability to finish plays because we've seen him out there on field. He's in position, but the ball is usually caught on him. Now, keep in mind, when you're out there with Jalen Ramsey and maybe even Kader Kohu, you're going to be targeted. And that Kader Kohu learned that on a regular basis. I mean, they must have hit that guy with about 50 crossing routes in his second season. And that defense was not built to cover crossing routes. So maybe that was Cam Smith's sophomore season, even though it was really his rookie season. But when you watch him in training camp, the athleticism is there, Poupard. It's just the ability, the physical ability is there. Can he stay healthy? No. The physical ability is there. I'm curious to see what he does in terms of treating his body. And that's another thing that these rookies need to get and grasp. When you talk to any aged veteran, any mature veteran, I think Aaron Brewer said it last week, the biggest thing that allows staying power in the NFL is how you begin to train your body. And I've been here long enough with Reggie Bush where it's about the pre-practice prep work. It's about the post-practice prep work. It's about the ice tub, the cold tub, about the massages. You know, I remember talking to Calais Campbell last year about the amount of money and effort and time that he put into his body just to make it to Sunday. And yes, he plays one of the heavier trench-oriented positions, but he was basically like, yeah, I'm north of $500,000 a year in terms of what I put into my body. We're talking about masseuses that they fly in. And I know this because I worked with Iron Athlete, and the amount of money that these guys would tell me that they put into their body on a regular basis just to get to game day. I'm like, man, that is crazy. But that's what you have to do in the NFL. And I don't think a lot of rookies know that, get that. And yeah, they've been getting NIL money, but how often are they getting massages 2 times a week? And that's the minimum.
Wow. I will tell you this also, one more quick point about Cam Smith is in training camp his rookie year, I think Omar were on the same team actually back then. We're looking at, I mean, there's something there. Absolutely. And then he got beat by a couple of
double moves.
Jacksonville and once in practice, and it seemed like his confidence completely got shot. And
I don't think his confidence got shot. Vic Fangio shot it. Sniper. Boom.
whatever was the cause, but he hasn't been the same guy since.
Fangio killed the spirits.
I remember. Fangio was hard on him and very critical. Fangio didn't pull any punches, and Fangio was basically like, "Yeah, he ain't ready, he ain't prepared." And I'm like, "Damn!" I used to ask players, "I'm like, damn, is he playing that bad?" And they'd be like, "No," but the old man's on him. And
asking him every week. Remember, Omar, we kept every week. How close is Cam Smith to getting in the lineup? How close is Cam Smith?
And the funny thing is, they didn't even have a high opinion of Eli Apple. He just wasn't Eli Apple
because he wasn't going to make that really bad mistake that rookies might make.
And that's the thing where they learn you got to know your assignment. You got to know your assignment. Like I remember, I don't know if this coaching staff does, but they used to put players through a test at the end of the week in terms of the game plan. And I can't remember which regime it was, whether it was Gase or Flores. I can't remember. This is back in the day when I used to know people's business. They put him give him a test at the end of the week, and basically, you ain't passed the test, you ain't playing. You wasn't gonna be counted on. And man, all I could think about was, man, Cam Smith must be failing Vic Fangio's test on a weekly, regular basis.
Well, here's the frustrating part. You would think, okay, maybe that was a Fangio thing, but was it any different with Weaver?
No. They gave him opportunity number one when Fuller went down, and he struggled. And then you saw him get replaced by Storm Duck, and then Storm Duck got hurt. You saw him get another opportunity, struggled again, then he got hurt, and that was the last we ever saw Cam Smith.
I've just been scratching my head the last few weeks. Like, how did our cornerback room get to this point? But here we are, ladies and gentlemen. All right, we're going to move on. We got a lot more to talk about, but we do want you to know that we are on social media as well. Check us out on TikTok and Instagram. Follow us on all of those accounts, ladies and gentlemen.
How is that a TikTok account when you can't even make TikTok accounts anymore?
How you can't make a TikTok account no more?
I don't even know if you could download the app because when it was banned,
Mario was banned for like 3 hours.
It was like 3 days.
Yeah, but that's quick. You know what I mean?
You saw women go through withdrawal from TikTok. Yeah.
Well, yeah, they were like, "Oh man, the mental health declining. We got to put it back." People need their TikTok fix, but we're on there. Okay, we're on TikTok. All right, so y'all come check us out. All right. Listen, another thing. We just got a gifted membership from JD the Great. He just gifted 5 memberships on Dolphins Collective. Thank you so much, JD the Great, for paying it forward, showing some of the other viewers membership qualities as well. We appreciate that. Alan said he loves you for it.
Does he get to pick who the members are?
No, it's random. It's random.
Oh,
yeah.
Shoot. Okay.
Yeah.
Dope. I was about to say, TD, you over here picking all your TD haters. Just giving all us
TD haters. Say TD haters, right? Or yours haters. Yours haters. You know. All right, y'all. We're going to move forward. Before we do, shout out to Jason Kirkland dropping love on the channel as well. And then we have Mike Best said, "What's up, Omar and Poop? Followed you guys here. Thank y'all for
avatar, Mike. I see you."
All right, so
Mike is the best. Get it? Mike Best.
Oh, Mike Best. It's time to get into the fun part of the show here. All right. So the first piece here, we're actually about to rank the AFC East quarterbacks, ladies and gentlemen, from top to bottom, 1 through 4, those who we are considering going to be the starters this year. That's obviously, you got Drake Maye for New England. You got Josh Allen for Buffalo. Ooh. You have Justin Fields for the Jets. Quinn Ewers for the Tua Tagovailoa for the Dolphins. We're about to rank those.
Omar, he can't help himself.
What? I'm just in
trade. I'm the same man who said Skylar Thompson was better than Tua, by the way.
Hey, we're gonna see what Mike Tomlin do with him. I don't know. We'll see.
I am so proud of Skylar for actually still being on that roster. But,
they must have liked him. They must have had a little scouting on him pre and wanted to see what he could do.
Aaron comes out of retirement and
you say Aaron.
Hey, but I will say this, Omar. Let's give some love to our past Dolphins, because in the last 10 years, the best quarterback performance in the playoffs was Skylar Thompson. I will say that. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. See, y'all, Jerry, y'all.
Matt Moore.
Last 8. How about that? Last 8 years.
Matt Moore. Was that the
I don't even want to give Matt Moore.
Yeah. Oh man, that's the game that he got rocked.
That was scary.
Came back in the game.
Yep.
Oh man. All right, so let's go ahead. We're gonna start with Allen on this one. Best
Josh Allen number 1.
Josh Allen number 1. Let's go. Keep
going. No schedule talk. We're not talking about the schedule.
Oh, we're gonna get there. That's our last topic.
Okay. Yeah, Josh Allen number 1. We're talking like future or immediately? Justin,
who you think?
Justin Fields number 4. I think Drake I think Drake May has a higher ceiling than Tua. That's sorry.
Okay, but we're still saying I hate when you do this. Are you telling me that Tua Tagovailoa, who has who's entering his 6th year in the NFL, has already been the yards passing leader, big play producing leader, a completion percentage leader, quarterback rating leader? Are you telling me he cannot improve?
Oh, he's already exceeded his ceiling.
I have told you that I believe I can be wrong, and I will never say never, but I think pretty much we have seen what Tua is as a quarterback. Yeah. It's 6 years now. Six years. That's a long time.
5. We have not begun 6.
2025. Sorry, 5 years.
But I think that he might have actually already exceeded his ceiling in 2023.
What does that mean?
That means when you bring in so much around him. That means when you bring in so much around him, and that's not typically what he'll be on a normal basis, but he showed you that for a limited amount of time. Tua Tagovailoa has not played the same and the same level since 2023.
He had a great year in 2023. He was a pro AFC.
Yeah, he hasn't reached 2023 Tua since.
Well, that's 1 year.
1 year.
Yeah, right.
It's 2
1
years.
year minus
It's
6.5 games.
It's
1 year. It's 2023 and then 2024.
No. Hold on. Tua has played how many years under McDaniel?
3.
Yeah, wasn't it the first year that we're talking about?
And he was very good the first year too, and he was very good the second year. Again, the issue though in 2023, actually, he stayed healthy the whole year. The issue both years has been again
durability.
So I guess I'm mixing my years up. The first year with McDaniel,
teammates against the bigger opponents, where he's had good games, but not to the level of.
So do you see him getting back there? Do you see him getting back there
to 2023?
If he has the talent around him, why not?
If he has the talent around him,
yeah. The answer better be hell yeah, because he's got a better tight end. He's got still comparable, probably better wide receiving core, because in 2023 they never had a slot receiver. They had never had a real legitimate number 3. They at least might have one now, maybe. Malik Washington is kind of the baseline of what you can expect, and I expect him to be better in year 2. And hopefully he has a better offensive line. And we all know that the running back is Devon Achane, and Devon has shown you he's a 1,300-yard producer. Hopefully he not so much will be put on his plate, and with better offensive line, he can give you a better average. But there's no question in my mind, if we take out the Tua's health factor, Tua is without a doubt the second best quarterback in the AFC East, and probably a top 5 quarterback.
Really? Without a doubt?
I'm sorry. Did Drake Maye do anything miraculous that we saw? Did he elevate his team to new heights?
You know why
that was a garbage team around him, dude.
That's fair.
He offered more promise as a rookie than Tua in 2020. Sorry, not. I'm not sure it's close.
Okay, I'm not gonna fight that because it's true.
Okay.
So there's more upside on Drake Maye.
Yes,
that's what that means, Omar. That's what you're acknowledging, but you can't acknowledge it.
Listen, he's got athleticism to him. He's got a nicer arm, but I'm sorry. The accuracy and the precision passing, can he dissect the defense the way Tua can? Does he have the pocket presence that Tua has? No.
Tua dissect defenses?
Yes.
Dude, he's been in the league 1 year. Holy moly! I mean,
I didn't say. All I'm saying is you made me choose, and I am choosing.
Did that. Sorry, I didn't. TD did that.
We're just trying to get things on record. That's all.
I'm sorry. Like I believe that Drake Maye has a lot of potential. I believe in the people that drafted him, so I know they did their evaluations. I liked him in the draft process too. There's the athleticism, there's the arm, but he's got a ways to go. I like the fact that they added Stephon Diggs, a proven quality quarterback improver. And and that should help him if Stephon Diggs is healthy. The way he's out gallivanting with Cardi B, I have to believe that he is pretty healthy. So we'll see what Drake Maye does. We'll see if he enters the stratosphere of a heavyweight in the AFC. And if he does, then we probably have been doing this thing wrong.
Whoa. Please expound, Omar.
We probably should have taken the quarterback with the better arm.
Oh, okay. Are you turning into an arm queen?
Huh?
Are you turning into an arm queen?
No, I'm not. I still believe in accuracy, precision passing, dissecting defenses, pocket presence. When Drake Maye shows me some of that, then I'll buy in.
Okay.
Now, you put that with the arm and the athleticism, you got an elite quarterback.
Correct. Okay, by the way, and you mentioned 2023. To me, the most important factor for the Dolphins getting back to that or close to that is they need Turbo Tyreek again. Because Tyreek in 2023 was some kind of ridiculous until he got injured late in the year.
He was everything.
He was a lot. I mean, he was a lot of that offense.
Scariest man in the NFL.
He was the run game unlocker. He unlocked the run game. He unlocked everybody else in the pass game, plus himself. I'm just still stuck on this. Tua can process defenses. You think that's a strong suit of his, Omar?
Yes, it is. Absolutely.
Wow.
When you watch him in practice on a daily basis, it's no doubt.
Omar,
I sitting here talking about practice.
Yeah, I don't want to
talk about practice.
I don't want to stay on this long, but I just think people are so wrong on that. I just think that McDaniel's system gives Tua quick options.
Last year, I agree with you.
No, it's been like that for 3 years. It's simply when you hike the ball, look at the linebacker. If he goes in the flat, hit the seam. If he goes in the flat, hit the slant. If he stays home, hit the flat. That's it. But this isn't processing the field past 1 and 2.
This is Tua clearly goes past 1 and 2. You can watch the Hard Knocks episode
on rare occasions. Rare occasions.
Oh, on a regular occasion. But anyway, I'm going to ignore your Tua talk and move on to, can we at least now acknowledge the fact that Tyreek played through a serious injury all of 2024?
Absolutely. I said that all along. I mean, and it wasn't just the wrist. He also had issues with, was it a toe, foot, ankle? I mean, there were a series of physical ailments with Tyreek last year. The question is, it's not a slam dunk, though, because he's a year older. It's not a slam dunk that he can get back to 2023 Tyreek. If he can, that unlocks a lot of possibilities for the Dolphin offense.
What I don't like is the distraction of a divorce and the distraction of the destruction of your family. And I get it. That sometimes cannot be avoided, but let's not act like divorce doesn't play a mental toll on a player. And my hope for him is that his teammates and his coaches rally around him and make football a safe place and a safe refuge for him to get his mind off everything else. Because as somebody who's going through a divorce, I can tell you, it ain't fun. It is not fun. And I don't have $30 million a year coming to me. So
who are you kidding, Omar? Who are you kidding?
I just want I want 2025 to be about football for Tyreek.
I don't know though, Omar. I think it's more complex than that though, because you make all the good points about his personal life and what he's going through. That's always a distraction, and you hope that the team rallies and say, "Hey, brother, we got you back," right? But here's the problem: he's also about to go through a divorce. I think he knows with Miami after this season.
True.
That's that. So it's hard to say, hey, the team's going to rally and embrace me when they're about to move on from me as well.
That's the organization, not your teammates and not your coaches. I will argue to you that if Tyreek isn't good, everybody's fired. So there's a lot placed on his shoulders as well, because he's carried the organization for the previous 2 years. We agree universally that he was the number one weapon on the team, if not the NFL. If he can't get back to that, people gonna be fired. It's just the reality of it.
Well, acknowledging that he played hurt, Alan make a good point, because remember with the incident outside the stadium with law enforcement, I had surgery, something on his lower body.
Tyreek is just a liar, so that don't believe it.
But I thought he did have surgery on his lower body somewhere.
He said it was some sort of stem cell thing on a knee or something.
Yeah, he had a stem cell with Armstead before they began training camp. But I mean, come on, Poop. You the one that taught me this. Tyreek's just a liar.
Well, he said you may exaggerate or troll everyone. So the other point about Tyreek also is, don't forget, he's very well aware that he's got no guaranteed money beyond 2025.
He's not getting any more.
Well, he's playing for another. You don't think he'd like another big contract?
No, he's not getting it from the Dolphins. But yes, you're right. He is playing for another big contract, because there's no way they're going to honor $40 million.
Is there a world where he's shipped at the trade deadline? Because the Dolphins,
absolutely. Absolutely. You don't see that, Poupard?
Yeah, I could see that happening.
Oh yeah. If we're out of it, Mike McDaniel's fired. I know you want to be all over that. Look at that face, TD. Mike McDaniel fired.
I'm not an advocate of Mike McDaniel getting fired. I don't know why you think that. I'm not a McDaniel.
Absolutely. We having a fire sale at the trade deadline.
I don't like the idea of McDaniel getting fired. I would like
him to coach out the whole season.
It's not about this team. I want to see McDaniel pick his quarterback in his unit. I want to give him that chance. Now, I don't like that. Okay, well, he go down with the rest of them.
He's not picking a quarterback. I don't think so.
Then you're basically saying he's going down with the rest of them.
So maybe he already did. Quarterback is going to say Mike McDaniel.
Maybe he already did pick his quarterback.
Well, he did. Tua.
No,
that's the point.
Yours,
man.
He didn't pick Tua. Tua was already here when he was hired.
Listen, they could have picked Shedeur Sanders. They chose.
Sure could have.
Quinn Ewers. And I'm not. I watched last night. I fell asleep to Gruden. Gruden did a 50-minute sit down with Ewers, and it was quite impressive. And I was intrigued. I'm not ruling anything out. Brock Purdy was the final pick of his draft class. He's about to be a $45 million quarterback. So, hey, best of luck to Quinn. Work hard, learn this offense, and history has proven you will get opportunity around here. How many years has the number 3 quarterback played?
Would you be happy where the Brock Purdy is? Let's say Tua is no longer the quarterback. You'd be satisfied with a Brock Purdy level quarterback.
Brock Purdy is. Last I checked, him and Tua were the 2 quarterbacks of this era who produced 100 passer rating 2 straight seasons.
That's not what I asked, though.
Would I be happy with it? Yes, I would.
You're having fun with numbers, which don't provide the whole context. But go ahead.
2 quarterbacks.
You know what I love doing that to you.
2 quarterbacks with some of the best weapons in the league.
I love when I throw numbers at Poupard because Poupard is always throwing numbers at me.
Are we going to disrespect Mike White like this and act like he doesn't exist?
Yes.
Is there a chance for him? Is there
Mike White ever look? Mike, who are you talking about?
Mike White's back with the Bills.
Not Mike White. I'm sorry. Zach Wilson. Sorry. They're all over the place in my head.
Yeah, are we going to disrespect Mike White? Yes. Yeah.
No, Zach Wilson.
Did you ever see a good Mike White practice?
No, but he did have the best passer rating on the team in 2023.
Tell him. Numbers.
All right, I'll allow it.
I had to go there. Zach Wilson, massive question mark. Who knows?
I got to see him practice.
Right.
And that's the one thing. And I always say this: I feel so blessed and honored to be with Poupard and all the other media contingent who get the opportunity to watch these OTA practices. We can't tell you what we see. We can tell you
in very general terms.
Yeah. But
formations and all that stuff.
Yeah. But we'll be able to tell you by the time we get to minicamp, we'll be able to tell you if a guy could play or not. Now, not fully, but like you generally will know.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. All right. So I'm sorry, I got to get us back on track real quick. So we're unanimous that Josh Allen is number 1 in the division.
Absolutely.
Not exactly going out on a limb.
Number 2. Well, hey, Tua.
Yeah. What's the vote? What's your vote, TD? Number 2.
Well, barely Josh Allen. I feel like Tua had some moments that were.
No. I'm talking about for number 2 quarterback.
Oh, number 2. Tua Tagovailoa.
Oh, look at that. So it's 2 against 1. Oh,
by the way, I didn't vote for Drake Maye. First, I took exception to you saying it was a clear cut. And I said Drake Maye has a higher ceiling. If you're asking me strictly.
No, I'd agree with that. Maybe. Like, I still don't.
Y'all are arm queens.
No, I'm not. I'm not, Omar. Believe it or not, I'm not an arm queen. I want a well-rounded player. You can have some flaws here and there, but you got to have a superpower that overcomes your.
I'm not arguing that. Your superpower is accuracy.
Yeah, but you need two. Okay.
Now we need two.
No,
Omar.
Because he has more than one limitation.
I could actually understand that reasoning.
Every limitation you have, you need a superpower to overcome it. That's all I'm saying.
Josh Allen's limitation is accuracy.
Josh Allen ain't got no
hold on. I got to jump in. Hold on. Omar, sorry. Okay. This one. Well, yes, I'm going to come up with a number. Most accurate passer in the NFL on slants last year, 2 seasons ago, was Josh Allen.
Of course, it's Josh Allen.
Can we stop? Sorry,
I said, of course, the most accurate quarterback on slants is Josh Allen. All he does is fire it in there.
But you're like saying that's like his kryptonite, his accuracy. It was when he got into the league, and it's not anymore.
You're right. It's not anymore. But if we're gonna like, okay, what are two? Hold on. I know I'm opening up a can of worms here. What are Tua's two limitations?
Are you kidding me? First of all, arm strength, obviously, right? And then his inability to be able
durability.
Improvisational skills.
No,
mobility.
He can improvise.
He can't. No, Omar, you cannot. Y'all got to stop taking 1 out of every 100 times. See, guys who can improvise do it 8 times out of 50. Tua does it 1 out of 100 times. Y'all like, see, so show you right there. He can do it.
That's like throwing a slant, throwing it out. Yeah, he could do it.
Not consistently correct.
I disagree with you. I can see Tua improvise all the time. Do I want him to improvise and put himself at risk, harm's way? No.
That's why he can't.
I want him to be on schedule. So I'm going to let that ride.
At this point, it's an official limitation, though, because of the concern of
injury. It's not. I will give you arm strength and I will give you durability. I will not give you ability to improvise. Okay, Tua can run and scramble, but he can get his egg scrambled too if he runs and scrambles. That
was beautiful.
Do I want him doing that? No, I don't. I don't. We've already suffered enough. As a Dolphin fans have suffered enough. Games without Tua, horrible. Games with Tua, you got you a chance. Like, stay healthy, stay in the pocket.
But that's the thing.
As I wrote on MiamiDolphinsSI.com, a big problem. I don't like this narrative of Tua hurt Dolphins lose. Okay. The record when they start a backup quarterback and do not have an injury in that game is about 500. The problem has been way too often they have a backup quarterback starting because Tua's hurt, and then there's another injury. Like at Seattle last year, Skyler left the game. Against Indianapolis, Tyler Huntley left the game.
Okay.
And then it happened in 2022. Teddy Bridgewater finished the game. That's been the issue. 0-5 in those games.
I'm still trying to figure out that Teddy Bridgewater. I'm still trying to figure out that Teddy Bridgewater concussion protocol situation.
That was an overreaction to Tua. You know what that was.
See, I didn't even bring him up this time. This is Omar. I'm trying to get the ranking here. All right. Josh Allen, me and Omar say Tua because Allen. Okay, and then we all saying Justin Fields is last.
Justin Fields is last very easily.
I don't know if I would say Justin Fields. I think once you clean up the throwing a little bit and clean up the accuracy issues with the scrambling, he's probably got a little bit more dangerous scrambling element to him than Drake Maye. So I might
Tua
that goes without saying.
Maybe even Josh Allen too. He's actually the best trade quarterback.
I would not be surprised if he is a quarterback that we will look back in history and say, yeah, we should have went and got that while it was just sitting there waiting for us. Now, am I a big believer? No, but I'm like, the talent is there, the ability is there. He's put up some ridiculous games against Miami. I just don't think. I think he falls into that category of quarterbacks that coaches generally don't want to coach.
He also, is
he a problem or something?
Saw a few games with the Steelers last year, and not impressive as a passer in the least.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. Not impressive. Dangerous weapon though. Not. Not really. There's something about Ohio State. I'll take an Ohio State wide receiver every day. I will not necessarily take an Ohio State quarterback.
They do have the best backup quarterback in the division, though, in my opinion, though, the Jets.
Who's their is it
Tyrod Taylor?
Tyrod Taylor.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Man, this show is so good. We're almost running out of time. Real quick, ladies and gentlemen, this stream was powered by BetUS. Take advantage of a 150% sign-up bonus on your first deposit up to $2,000 using code YouTube150. Quick blitz here. Omar, Buffalo Bills. This is your too early prediction. All right. Buffalo Bills over or under 11.5 wins?
I'm going under.
Ooh, Poopar?
Over.
And I am going to go with the over. Miami Dolphins, 8.5, Omar.
I'm going with over.
Alan?
Pass.
Say push. I'm going to go with the push on this. That's a tough one. It might just be 8.5. New York Jets, 5.5. Over, under, Omar?
I'm going with an over.
Alan?
I agree.
Yeah, I got them over this year. Just 6. New England Patriots, over, under, 7.5. Omar?
That's a good line. I'm going under.
Over.
I'm going over by far. Well, ladies and gentlemen, go to BetUS. Whatever you decide for all of those teams, over or under, you have an opportunity to take advantage of that 150% sign-up bonus when you place your first bet on the over-under. Shout out to all the members of the channel. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. Real quick, last question.
Hold on. I don't want us to leave without giving people at least 6 questions answered. Because
no. I was gonna get to it. I got you.
Okay.
Let me see here.
I feel
take care of our peeps here.
Yes, because we have a few more members. Codis just became a member. D Jesse or Jesse. Y'all gonna have to help me with that. Became a member as well. Mal B. If McDaniel gets fired mid-season, who's the intern? Weber, Embry?
It's Weaver. Everybody in the world knows that, including Mike McDaniels.
Wow. Onaron said TD is killing it with these topics. These are actually all of our topics. You guys are great. Keep this going. That's what's up, man. If you have questions, especially if you're a member, put them in right now. You got a few minutes left to ask us whatever questions you have. Put it in the chat. And also, if you're a member, spam the chat with the emojis. Thank you to all the members of the channel. All right. 575 people were just in here. So y'all got to hit that like button. We only got like 100 likes, so punch the like button.
All right. Appreciate 100 likes. That's kind of disrespectful.
Yeah, punch that like button. We got a question. Do we think Jaelan Wright can fill the Mostert role?
You know what's interesting? There was a big mystery about why he just vanished from the depth chart. And I remember I was having a talk with a film evaluator, and he talked about, I think it was Simon Clancy. He talked about it became very apparent that when teams looked at his film, pass protection was an issue for Jaelan Wright. And so teams would blitz when he was on the field. And so the Dolphins got to the point where they could not play him because he could not protect. Even though protection wasn't an issue during his college days at Tennessee, it became an issue in the NFL. I don't necessarily know if this is 100% accurate, but we're going to get an opportunity to figure that out later on in the OTAs and training camp. But that was one of the biggest mysteries of last season. He just disappeared from the depth chart.
Well, if you also look at his numbers in the last 7 weeks, the rushing average yards per carry, woof.
Yeah.
Woof. I mean, bad. I don't recall him really messing up in pass pro, and certainly if he is bad in pass pro, it would be a technique issue because he's
big.
Yeah, he's a big dude.
Well, how do quick question about the schedule release tomorrow night? What are you all expecting? Yeah, what are you looking forward to or
I want a lot of December home games. And that's if you know, I there's always this mythology that teams get to make one request as an organization. Mm-hmm. You get to have one wish granted. Now, it's too late to ask for the bye after you go to where are you going? What's that?
Spain or Madrid?
Spain, yeah.
I don't think dude, that's already been in place. If they want to buy after Spain, they
get to choose.
Yeah.
They already buy that late?
They already made the decision. They already knew the schedule. They already made the decision whether or not they wanted to buy.
No, I don't know if the Dolphins would want to buy that late. But
yeah, we just don't know if they are.
The NFL will give it to them after playing in Europe.
Yeah. I don't want my buy that late.
I do, because everybody always hurt.
You might be right, because December is when the season falls apart. That's right before you get to December. So okay.
What I already don't like about the schedule, a home game is already not home.
Stop it.
No, the command when we go to overseas.
Listen.
Well, you knew that already. TD,
let me destroy this myth that we have about home. There are games, as a reporter who is on the road, where the road teams can go to California, go on that West Coast. The Dolphins will own that stadium no matter who they play, with the exception of the Raiders. There are games where you have a better home field advantage on the road than you do have at home. What I will give you is the heat and humidity in September. Oh, that thing is legit. Now, October's kind of iffy depending on how the weather is. November, there's nothing to it.
December is a vacation for whoever coming.
Yes, it is. Yes.
No, the opposing teams want that, but then here's the thing: the Dolphins have 5 potential cold weather games, not counting Madrid, because apparently it's between 40 and 58 at that time of the year. But they have 40 and 50. That's 40 and 58. It's not a cold game. Sorry, if it's 40 degrees, that's not a cold game.
For what quarterback?
Like, you gonna have me vacationing in Spain with a jacket on?
Come on, man. Cleveland, Pittsburgh, and the 3 AFC East teams. Now, the question is, to me, I'm curious whether the Dolphins get saddled with 2 or more of those games in December on the road, and if they get, as compensation, a couple of the key games. For example, the Buffalo games are very important as to where they're played, where. Remember, when the Buffalo playing in Miami in September in the daytime is big for the Dolphins. To me, that's a bigger advantage of the Dolphins than if the Dolphins have to play in December in Buffalo. And then I'm also curious to see how many primetime games the Dolphins are going to be given after they had 4 last year. I don't expect 4, but who knows?
Is this season? Do you know when week 1? Are we starting early this year, or is it like late? You know how?
September 4th is the first Thursday, the first Sunday, September 7th.
So that's early. Okay, so the last December game is January 4th. Okay. All right. Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. We also will be live on Thursday night. We will be discussing the schedule release. We will be breaking it all down right here on Dolphins Collective. Again, make sure that if you want to become a member, you hit that membership join. We are on podcasts, Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts, social media now. TikTok, Instagram, everywhere. Omar, any last words before we get out of here?
Make sure you not only subscribe to the channel, but also click for the alert so you know when we go live. And definitely we thank you for your continued support. Thank you for your sponsorship. Thank you for your membership. You can find my work at the Miami Herald. I recently wrote a column about Mike McDaniel having to kind of mature as a coach, and I expect that he will. So check that out. Obviously, you know, Alan Poupard. Tell the people where to find you, Poupard, for free.
And I will recommend Omar's column on Mike McDaniel. It's very good work.
Took me a very long time.
Okay. Well, it's good work. Just say thank you, and then let's move on.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Tip. Thank you.
Yeah, you can find my written content and that of my team on Miami Dolphins on SI.com. 6 stories up today.
Man,
there's always a lot of content. And yes, Omar, I'm going to say it, all free. And then check out the All Dolphins podcast as well, going 3 times a week during the off season.
And ladies and gentlemen, I don't know how to really reiterate this because I try to tell people this all the time. When Omar says check him out on Miami Herald, when Alan says Miami Dolphins on SI.com, you have to understand we're on this show kicking the breeze, having fun, talking about our opinions and stuff. But these guys are giving in-depth analysis and all the details and facts about what you need to know in these writings. So make sure you go check them out, go subscribe to the Herald, and make sure you go check out Alan's work as well. Doug, we miss you. We know you're watching. Yeah. We'll see you here on Thursday. We love you all. We appreciate you all. Fins up no matter what. Okay, no matter what. That's the key. All right. Ewers, man, we got you back, buddy. Peace. We out.